Hey yo, what's going on, everybody? Back again. Today I'm gonna hop in, do some lead follow up. Don't really plan on making this a crazy long video. Just trying to put up some calls, put some reps up before I head out for the day. What was I gonna say? Oh, at first, I got to thinking this morning. I've been kind of tripping on this because I'm wanting to maximize the marketing efforts towards every property, right? That's why I started texting them. So I'll be texting the mobile numbers, and then calling the other numbers. And I started to trip yesterday because I was calling through all of these lists, right? So I went through over the weekend or maybe a couple nights ago, and I took all of my old data from my old Mojo dialer, and I just switched over to Call Tools. So I was just having to transfer the data, all the properties, and I was taking the list that I hadn't contacted yet, or rather, I was taking the list that I had called through a few times, but everybody on this list hadn't been contacted, or else they would be in another list. So I was confident in bringing these lists to both my texting platform and my new dialer, knowing that I had never been in contact with any of these people. So that was just kind of my not my worry, but I was kind of tripping about calling people who I just texted. But then I remembered when I went to go skip trace, and this is I don't know if all skip tracing platforms do this, but batch skip tracing does for sure. So I can only speak to my own experience. Batchskiptracing.com. There should be a link in the bio after this gets posted here. It's free to sign up and to sign up for an account, but skip tracing is, I think, by default 20 cents. So I haven't gotten to the point where I get to offer a discount code to you, but know that if you do click the link in my bio, it is through a referral program. So I'm not sure how much I will get paid if you end up using them, but I do recommend using them. So leave it up to you whether or not you want to use the link in my bio or not. But I would recommend using batch skip tracing. It's recommended by, I think, some of the best wholesalers in the game. So, and I've had great success with it. It's pretty much the only skip tracing platform that I've used. So when you skip trace with them, lately, I think recently, they made an update where when they give you back the numbers and the data, it's sectioned off by mobile numbers and landlines. So that way you can just grab. What I did was I just grabbed that first mobile column, and that's what I'm going to limit it to moving forward. I'm just going to text all of the first mobile numbers, anybody who has a mobile number, and just that first mobile number. And then I'm going to go ahead and take the rest of the numbers, landlines, and any backup mobile numbers that are attached to it as well, but just three of them, and then bring those over to my dialer. So I was got to thinking this morning. I was like, oh damn! Like I called so many people yesterday, and I'm texting people too. But then I remembered, oh, I'm only texting the mobile number, and that mobile number is not attached to the property within my dialer. And then what I'll do is, once my texting campaign runs its course and it's exhausted all of the text throughout the first 30-day campaign, and I haven't gotten any replies, then those properties get added to a list that I've labeled ready to push to cold call. So anybody who never replied to any of my texts, I will then bring that list and bring it over to my dialer and just house all of those properties under one list, which is like no SMS reply or something like that. So that when I go through and I call that list, I know like these are all the people who I have texted at one point. So I'd imagine that if I do get a hold of people on that list, they may be a little bit, the climate of that list may be a little bit hotter, not in terms of warmth of leads, but like people probably may be a little bit more upset that I've texted them over the course of the last 30 days and they intentionally didn't respond, and now I'm calling them. But it's whatever. Um, I'm operating under the impression that texting is just not how they like to communicate. So, which is, I think, the kind of the method that, or the mind frame that you should have as well when approaching people in two different marketing channels. So I have taken the step to ensure that I haven't texted the number and called the number, even if they've replied through text, right? So I have taken that step by only bringing that first mobile number into my texting platform, and then bringing all the other numbers and not that same mobile number into my dialer. So I have taken like a step to ensure that. But at the end of the day, like based off what I've heard, like from my coach and other pros, like they don't even care. When you're doing this at scale, you don't have the time. It doesn't matter. It's worth it to just get another no, right? Like you just texted me and I just told you no. Oh, okay. I'm sorry about that. You know what I mean? Like it's only gonna take a quick second, and you just never know, right? Um, you just never know. It's almost worth it to contact people. But for me, starting out, I don't personally want to do that, especially because my name is attached to everything, right? So in texting, it's like I'm telling them. I don't think I tell them my name actually, but I do drop a voicemail that's my voice. So when I call them, they're gonna be like, well, "Didn't you just leave me a voicemail?" And I texted you back saying no. So I have taken a step to try to avoid that situation. But I know in the future it's going to kind of be irrelevant because, again, my name isn't going to be specifically attached to every text, every voicemail, every outgoing call to my leads, every cold call. It's like once you put people in place and people, sellers start hearing different voices, different names, it's just another investor to them. Right. Uh, anyways, I was kind of tripping on that earlier, so I wanted to kind of elaborate on my thought process because I was again starting to freak out, like, oh damn, like I'm gonna be getting a hold of the same people, and I might be texting their mobile number and then calling their landline. So I just want to make sure that I'm not like bombarding people. One, because I know it's just not as efficient. Um, Maybe not as efficient, but like I'm just ending up wasting money. you know. So it's worth it to me to take that one extra step. Didn't take me but a couple minutes to, take the mobiles, put it here, take every other number, put it here. It's really not that big of a deal to me. So really wasn't tripping on that at all. But anyways, oops. Let me come over here, figure out what I'm doing. First, I wanted to go through my texting platform because this is another thing. I don't have a central CRM, but in the future, that's obviously something that I want to set up. In the past, I was using just my Mojo dialer as the CRM because it worked because, well, one, it offered everything that I needed, the ability to set future follow-up calls, tasks, notes, um, put them into specific groups, stuff like that. Like that's all you need, right? It's just anything to be able to document the process or progress that you've experienced with that particular lead. But now that and it worked because cold calling was my only form of marketing. So I could just house everything in my dialer. But now I'm doing the texting thing and the cold calling thing on two separate platforms. So right now I'm having to go to my texting platform, and I have both have kind of the same type of built-in CRM with all those capabilities, like I was just saying, setting future follow-up appointments, taking notes, tagging them, stuff like that. So I'm essentially operating off of both. So if I generated the lead through texting, I am setting future follow-ups and stuff on my texting platform, and I am calling them from the number that I texted them. And same thing. If I generated the lead through, uh, if I generated the lead through my dialer through call tools, I'm doing setting the follow ups, my call tools and stuff as well. But I'm actually calling them off of my Google Voice number, which could be a mistake. I want to limit, and I have been limiting that Google Voice number. That's like quote unquote my cell phone, but it has a local area code. Um, so I definitely don't want to lose that number because a number of people have saved it. Said they'll reach out if anything changes. Just like stuff like that. So I definitely want to hold on to that phone number as long as possible and ensure that it doesn't get flagged as spam. And the way to do that is just again to only be contacting and communicating with people who aren't going to report you. So that's just kind of a mental note that I took for myself right now is I need to be sure that I'm limiting those outgoing phone calls to the leads generated through my dialer to only the people who are expecting my phone call, right? Who have told me, yeah, call me, right? Because that's the last thing that I want is just for people to be flagging this Google Voice number because again, that's again, quote unquote, my cell phone. So, but the point of that rant was that I have to bounce back between the two platforms to to make sure that nobody slips through the cracks. Because again, if I generated the lead through text, I'm not going to see my future my follow-up call task on my dialer. I have to come into my texting platform in order to see that. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm in my pipeline on my texting platform, just kind of going through the last couple conversations that I had with these people, the people who replied, to make sure that again nobody has slipped through the cracks. My dog's coming out, and I'm going to let him out to the living room so he's not a nuisance in here. All right. So again, just going through these individually. Wrong number. These. I need to go back and like revisit all of my triggers and stuff, all my automation in the background, because um, now I think I explained this the other day, but I made the mistake of importing a list with landlines attached, right? Uh, and I was forced to kind of get creative in how I was going to handle the flow of things when I texted a landline, because it was going to kick back as an error. So I got really creative and I started playing with things. But then I realized when I went to go import my next list, it's like, well, okay, I'm not going to import landlines again because I don't want to have to deal with all of that individual, paying attention to every single text that goes out. So instead, I did what I did when I was talking about importing just the first mobile number. And then I realized all of that automation that I had set up was set up for properties that were texting landlines. So now it's all thrown off. I have to go back in. So I still have some type of a hands-on approach. It's just that I'm not going through every single text message like I used to, and just being sure that it's not kicking back as a landline error. Now I'm more so just having to like move them manually in between the pipeline stages, or tag them manually because the automation is finicky on the background. Um, Not interested. Also, just been kind of leaving these because when I'm out and I see somebody tell me like not interested, I don't like go in and handle it right then and there. Um, that makes sense. Keep saying I want to stop saying that because you do. It makes sense to you. I gotta quit acting like I'm talking to kids. If you're watching this, you know it makes sense. Um, this person texted me back saying I just lost my job. I will be returning to my house soon. It will not be for sale. I asked if he had any other real estate, or yeah, if he had any way that I could maybe able to help for any real estate needs. He didn't text back. I'm not going to bother him. He just lost his job. Although, I mean, that might be a good lead, but he's telling me that he's moving back into the house that I'm texting him about and that it's not for sale. So if you watch my video yesterday, my live stream, this guy came up, and I was the only reason I said what I said was because the way that he's talking about it, it makes it seem as if he is moving from a place to the house that I'm texting him about. And that's why it's not going to be for sale, because he's getting ready to live there. But then I'm wondering what's happening with this other property that he's moving away from. It could either be his property or he could be leasing it, right? So he's just gonna, and that's probably what's happening because he lost his job, so now he can't afford the rent on the place that he's currently living in. So he's gonna leave that place and then go live in his property that he probably owns free and clear. So all he has to do is like handle the tax bill or whatever the case is for him. It's probably just less of a burden to live in his property than it is to live in whatever property he's living in now. But I figured I'd shoot my shot and at least ask if he had any real estate needs because of that weird situation that he was talking about him losing his job. We don't own that property. Um, so just went through the 4 people that I hadn't already tagged. that was in my replied section. So those are all people who had replied to a text message yesterday, or people who I have replied to as well. I just didn't move them out of there. Next one is the attention column, the attention pipeline stage. So these are people who I've seen had replied, and then I had manually moved them to attention stage so that I don't forget to either text them back or follow up. So this guy, Raymundo, have you given any thought to parting ways with your address? Can we talk about it? And then he said, yeah, of course. And I actually missed this. Um, I missed this. So I'm going to push it to Zillow just to make sure that like it is a property that I'm interested in. I'm going to cancel this tab. And if it just seems like on its face like something it may be interesting to me, I'm going to give him a call. So this is my driving for dollars list. Same area where my first deal came from. Almost the same exact bed, bath, square footage as well. It's like damn near the exact same. So I'm pretty confident in the value here of it probably having an ARV of anywhere between 160 to 170. The Zestimate is 111. So I may be incorrect in that, but mark my words, 160, 170. I'm going to do a little bit of comping here real quick just to determine if it is in fact somewhere close to that. So 1200 square foot, built in 1953, lot size about 7,000, 6,900 to be exact. So 1200 square foot home, I'm going to put the minimum at 1,000, the maximum at 1,400, have it be, going 200 square feet in both directions. You're built 1953, I'll put the minimum at 1940, maximum at 1960, kind of like 10, 13 in the other direction, but and then 7 in the other. But you get what I'm saying. If I am limited in my results, I may expand that. Property class, residential. Property type, single family. Your date range over the past year. So number 1 and number 2. Number 1 is in our subdivision. Number 2 is a little bit further, 4/10 of a mile. So let's look at number 1 that sold for 190. It's a 3-2. Ours is a 2-1. So theirs sold for 190. I think ours was sold for 170. They have just about 1,400 square feet, so about 200 square feet bigger. When I say 170, ours would sell for 150. Ours lot is a little bit bigger, and our year built is a little newer. So 150, maybe 155. Yeah, 150, maybe 155. And this one sold in August of 2021, so fairly recent. Oh no, this one sold in March of 2021. So I'd say ours is at 155. So a little less than I anticipated, but let's also do what I was talking about and put the year built to like 1963, just in case we miss 1 or 2 comps. Nope, no missed comps there. Let's drop the square feet to 950. Max 1450. See if anything else pops up. Nope. Let's pull the date range back a year. 4 more properties popped up, but nothing close to home. The closest one is 2/10 of a mile. That's the one I just ran the comps on. This other one, let's see, this one is the one that sold in August 2021. Sold for 158 at 1 extra bedroom. So ours would sell for 178. Only 54 square feet more. I'm not going to make an adjustment for that. Pretty similar size. So 158, 148, I said, right? 148. Their lot is about 1,500 square feet bigger, but same year built. So if ours sells for 148, I don't know, 145. So comparing those two, 155, 145, let's call ARV 150. So a little bit less than what I anticipated, but pretty close. 150. I don't even know if this is going to be a lead, but I just want to, I'm getting really comfortable in running comps. So I'm just taking opportunities to practice. 138 minus, let's call it 35. So about 103 less repairs on a, I don't know if I told you guys too, but the, my JV partner, my first JV partner, my first deal, $12,000 deal, split it with my JV partner, 6,000 each. In hindsight, he didn't do jack shit. he sent his cousin out to take the pictures. I could have easily sent anybody out. I got a girl now who I send out for $100. And he was present for the cash buyer walkthrough. The only cash buyer that ended up showing up was my cash buyer that I found and I was in communication with. My JV partner took it upon himself to negotiate the sale of the assignment fee on site with the buyer, and then had the nerve to come to me and tell me to uh, go renegotiate the price with the seller so that we can take down more money. I said no, I'm not going to do that. It's a $12,000 deal here. We're each making six. I'm not going to go back and renegotiate. What if you wanted more money? You should have locked the deal up higher with the buyer. Um, I don't want this to turn into a rant, but essentially, we ended up closing the deal. Again, really no help from him. Um, I'm gonna go down the list of everything that I expected him to do, but I ended up doing. I expected him to provide the buyer. I ended up finding the buyer. I expected him to handle all the disposition. I was the one who created the property profile, compiled all the pictures, made it look pretty, so that when we went to go text it out or email blast it out to cash buyers, it was attractive. I did that. I found the buyers. The buyer, he ended up making it so difficult with the buyer. He was talking about I'm afraid we're gonna lose him. You know, go to the seller. We need to get a re-sign. We need a new set. And I'm in the moment. I'm like, okay, okay, okay. You know, this is my first deal. I don't give a shit what I have to do. I'm just trying to do whatever. And I'm looking to him as kind of an authority figure because he is letting me know that he has done deals before. Um, Again, in hindsight, I know he has done deals, but I don't think he's like the dispo kind of guy. But even then, that's why I expected him to handle all this on the disposition. And so he didn't do any of that. Buyer, so he ended up freaking out. We need the buyer to sign, and I was like, you know what? So I called the buyer. I was like, what's going on? Like, and he's like, yeah, this is that. Like, I was like, okay, like I'm gonna try to renegotiate with the seller. Are you cool with hanging tight? He's like, yeah. It's like, okay. Um, and then the day went by, and then I couldn't literally sleep at night. And I was like, okay, I'm not going back to the seller. So I called the buyer, and I was like, hey, look, like that price is cool with us. Like, I'm gonna send you the agreement. So we used my paperwork. I sent it to him. I could have easily cut my JV partner out easily, and he knew it. He knew he didn't do anything. He knew once I sent my paperwork to the buyer, he knew I could have easily cut him out. But that's not, I'm a firm believer in bad karma, so I didn't want to do it like that. I still paid him half, but he started getting funny. He started acting funny when I sent him that thing. I wasn't even thinking that. I was just thinking like, look, I don't want to lose this buyer either. So like, why are we playing around? Why don't we just give him the paperwork to sign? Let's do this. You know what I mean? So that's what I did. And then he started acting funny. My JV partner, like, all right, here's my invoice. Here's my invoice for JVing, right? I'm going to get half of this still. He didn't say it like that, but he did send me the invoice right afterwards. And I was like, yeah, man, I'm going to pay you. Like, don't worry about it. And then we closed that one. And then the whole dynamic of the relationship changed. And he's, super excited about the future of working with me because he sees that I'm locking up deals. Um, Before that one even closed, I got another one under contract and just assigned it without his help. Although we were talking about before all this nonsense started, we were talking about I'll run the acquisitions. You'll be the boots on the ground out there. You'll handle the dispositions, and I can just keep tossing you contracts, and that's how we can operate. But then I realized I was like, I don't need to do that. I'm giving him free money. I'm confident in my ability to get pictures of the property taken, have somebody out there for walkthroughs to mediate, and I'm confident in my ability to assign the deal virtually to a cash buyer, which is exactly what I did the second one. And you could tell he got in his feelings about it because he was, oh, you don't need me. That's how he's feeling. It's like, no, I really don't. And I didn't need you in the first time. So you're lucky that I cut you that $6,000 check. But anyways, man, if you want to see me rant more about it, go to the playlist that I recorded about that first deal. The title of the playlist is My First Wholesale Deal. You can see the progression from the beginning to the end, from when I got the contract until I got paid on it. And I went on multiple rants about that JV partner. But the point of my rant here is he had shared a shared document. It's on Evernote, but it just essentially, I know a lot of people are probably familiar with like Google Docs, how you can share it with people and they can go in there and edit it, view it, see when you're viewing it. So he had shared a little document with me, which is the cheat sheet that I'm referring to, that I have referred to over, about the renovation costs recently. I just referred to it, and that's what I would use. I would pull it up in a tab, separate tab, and I would use that. And he just reached out to me the other day on Facebook, like, "Yo, what's up?" Like, just like you would follow up with a lead. "Hey, what's up? Any deals out in Houston that you need help moving?" And I just didn't respond to him. I just don't want to do business with people like him. So I just kind of cut ties. And I don't do that. Like, I'm not salty after I just went on a full rant. I'm not salty about it, but I just made the decision consciously. Like, I made the decision consciously to not go back to the seller to renegotiate price. That's just not how I want to do business. Just like I made the decision to still pay him half the fee, although he didn't do half the work, not even nearly half the work. Again, it's just how I want to operate. That's how I want to do business. And on the flip side, how I do not want to do business is by affiliating myself and my business with people who operate like that. So I didn't respond to him via Facebook. And then just yesterday or 2 days ago, I went to go pull up the little cheat sheet, and he unshared it with me. So again, just speaks to him, uh, like big baby, honestly, bro, like salty as hell. Um, I don't really know. I use the sheet enough to know, like, generally the prices that I'm looking at. So, like, for under 1,500 square feet, I'm looking at like a 20, 40, 60. That was adjusted for the material cost. Now, with the increase in material costs, so 2020 from the pandemic, anything from 15 to 2,500 square feet is like, 30, 60, 80, and then like, uh 2,500 plus is like, 40, 75, 100. I don't know, that's his ballpark, and that's honestly what I'm going to operate off of right there. So I went through this whole rant because I just ran comps on that one. 103 less repairs, so 1,200 square feet, um less than 1,500, 15 to 25. Yeah, so 1,500 less than 1,500 on a, I'd be able to go like 80 on a, 80 on a really, really, really light repair, um, 60 on an average, 40 on a light. So let me give him a call, see what he's talking about. Oh yeah, so, and that's the beauty of being able to use this texting platform numbers too, is I can just call right off my computer, so you guys can hear it. So get the script ready. Give him a call.
Please leave your message for 83.
Straight to voicemail. I'll let it breathe for a second. Give him a call. Double tap him. Let him know that I mean business. But other than that, I think there may be a few more people that I can call off my texting platform. Kind of in a rush, man. Regret going on that rant just now, but it's all good. I'm calling back right now.
Please leave your message for 8.
All right. I can't necessarily put him in a, I guess I can just text him back. I don't know why I didn't think of that. I'm just going to ask him when a good time is to call. Sorry. I'm not even going to apologize. Yeah, of course. I'm going to just say, when is the best time to give you a ring? I'd love to learn about the property to see if we may be a good fit. I'm going to leave him in attention until it's a more appropriate uh, way, or he more appropriately falls under a different category, if that makes sense. Like I have future follow up, cold campaign, which is like not interested at all. Warm campaign is like, you know, interested, but not right now. Hot is interested, but I have not made an offer, and they kind of fell off weird. So I have a different bunch of different buckets, bunch of different pipeline stages. This guy, he says, make an offer, not interested in talking. I asked for some clarifying questions. He didn't answer. Uh, I will put him in. Um, I don't even want to do business with people like that. I'm not gonna. In the future, I will put up with people like this when I'm doing it at scale. But I don't even want to waste my time dealing with people who are asked, like make an offer. I'm not interested in quote unquote talking. It's like, well, I'm gonna have to talk to you to make you an offer on your property, bud. Sorry, I'm not gonna not talk to you and pay you what you want for your, like I'm done. I'm done jumping through hoops for people. That's why I quit my old job. I didn't want to have to do all that. So I'm not. I'm damn sure not gonna allow random people to put me back in that, realm of things. So going to go to my dashboard. Majority of my follow-ups are going to come from my future follow-up pipeline stage here. So this one's late 4 days. Let them know that your partner drove by the property and took a look. Very interested. Random numbers can come very close to that 250. Offer 230 and see if he bites. Okay, give him a call. Forget how this one left off. I said definitely a new construction. These are my notes. Definitely a new construction play. If I were to salvage a property, I think ARV is 385 to 400 max, but new construction is going for over 1 mil. And people are buying lots smaller than this one for close to that same amount, about 340,000. So this is definitely a new construction play. He's owned the property for 20 years, tenant occupied. Tenant's been there for 5 years. Good tenant, month to month. 1,200 a month rent, 20-year-old roof. He thinks it should be replaced. Kitchen updated 10 years ago. Bathrooms have not been updated. AC is fairly new. We both agreed that the renovation would probably be around 50,000. He mentioned that he received an offer for 254 at one point, but didn't accept it. Seller mentioned that he would need at least 250. Seller would want to give his tenant a 60-day notice. New townhomes have gone up right on the other side of the fence. So, gonna give him a call. Reconnect with him. I forget how it got left off. I think he honestly said, give me a call like next year or something like that. Oh, no, here we go. Hey, this is Derek. Thanks for talking with me. I'll do a bit of homework and speak with my partners to see if we can be in that 250 ballpark. If we can, I'll be sure to round back with you ASAP. The only reason I'm going to mention that somebody drove by was because he had brought that up. He was like, go ahead and drive by. It was towards the end of the conversation. Go ahead and drive by. If it seems like something that you're interested, give me a call back. He's not very motivated. I mean, the tenants pay him rent every month, on time in full. So he just is done with. He had mentioned on the phone call, like when I went to go rent it out, I didn't realize how, or he had mentioned how many calls he's getting. Okay, and I had already given this guy back-to-back phone calls 3 days after we talked. So this may be one where if I call him right now and he doesn't answer, I might kick it to my coaching program. They have like office hours where you can provide leads to them and they'll try to close them for you. So that's what I'll do if I don't end up coming to an agreement with this guy. I'm going to really frame the conversation around the price because that's where we left off. Yeah, of course, baby, come over. Okay. So that was the guy that I just tried calling, so he wasn't serious. Let me give this guy a call. His name's Stevens, Mr. Cook. I want to see how I.
Hello. Hey, Mr. Cook.
So I called him Mr. Cook last time. That's what I'm gonna do this time. Give him a call. See what's going on. See if we can make something happen. Again, really gonna focus on price here, and figure out what his goals are. I don't think we dove into that. What's your goal here when you do go to sell it? Uh, do you have a plan with what you're going to do with the money, or do you have a plan on, um, or maybe he said it. No, I don't think he did. I'm just gonna give him a call. No point in lollygagging. Yeah, he's not gonna answer. He didn't answer, and I'm not gonna give him a call back, and I'll tell you why. I almost like when this happens because we ended the phone call, and he asked for a text to save my number. He said, "Text me your name so I can save your number because I very rarely answer these phone calls." So if he did, in fact, save my number, which I would imagine he did because I did text him afterwards, so I'm going to lean, on the side of him saving my number. Now he is making the decision intentionally to ignore my call because he sees, oh, this is Derek home buyer. Like I don't want to deal with that right now. So that just tells me something. You know what I mean? Um, so it's not just like, oh, I'm catching him at a bad time. I could be catching him at a bad time, but for the most part, I think that he's ignoring my call. So I am going to start pushing these out like biweekly because he wasn't ready again. He wasn't motivated. He wasn't motivated when I called. It's just that the numbers are so good on this one that I could essentially give him what he wants. So that's my plan is when I do connect with him to try to milk it for all it's worth. He wants 250. I'm gonna make the offer at 230 and hopefully have him drop down like to 240 or something like that. But at worst comes to worst, I'm gonna give him the 250. Um, so now it's just a matter of getting him back on the phone and building that rapport. And that was something that I think I talked about yesterday on uh, my other live session. Was that's something that I'm getting in the habit, unfortunately, of thinking that I can cold call somebody and on that very first phone call I can lock them up because that's what happened with my first two deals. Was the first one I called, the wife answered, said, "Yeah, we want to sell. Call back tomorrow when I'm gonna be with my husband." I called back the next day. The husband said, "Yeah, we want to sell. How much are you gonna give me?" I said, "This." It's not. It didn't happen that simply, but I closed them on the second call, literally within 24 hours of the initial cold call. Same thing happened with the second deal that I closed. That was like an hour. I cold called him, pre-qualified him fully, understood what he wanted, the price that he wanted. I said, "Give me a little bit. I'm going to run my numbers." I hung up. I called him back 20 minutes later, said, "Yeah, I got approval for this." Kept placing him on hold, went back and forth with my finance manager, ended up locking him up on the phone within again, an hour of the initial cold call. So I think that kind of gave me a false sense of reality. And now I need to remind myself that not everybody is going to be that ready. There will be people, but I think it's rare. And I think I got lucky on my first two deals that it didn't come from intense follow up. And that's, I think, a majority of the deals that get closed are in the follow up. So I'm trying to prevent myself from getting overly excited when I'm on the initial cold call with somebody who is telling me they want to sell, who's telling me the condition is poor, that they're motivated to sell because X, Y, and Z. Um, I need to start picking my shots, picking my pitches and thinking to myself, okay, this is a person who I think is going to get closed right now? If no, you know, or even if I have any type of doubt that this person is not going to be closable right now, I need to start setting up the alley oop for myself. I need to start setting up a follow up call, setting up follow up expectations. Okay, well, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I did yesterday when I generated that one lead. You know, I'll call you in a week. That'll give you time to do this, and that'll give me time to do this. That'll give you time to speak with your daughter, your ex wife, figure out what your goals are going to be, what you want to do moving forward, and in the meantime, I'll be doing my homework, kind of studying the activity in that exact area, figuring out the very best offer that we can make. That way, I don't leave anything off the table. The offer that I'm going to make you is the best offer, right? Uh, so he's like, "All right, cool," and he's much more receptive to that compared to me being on the end of the phone call, like with like excitement in my voice, like, "Okay, yeah, let's close the deal, let's close it, let's get this signed," and it turns them off, and I've been recognizing that lately. in my phone calls. So I'm just trying not to scare people away. And I think the best way to do that is just to set up a future follow up call. Get out of the mindset that these people are going to sign a contract on day one, phone call one. You know what I mean? Uh, this one, I just wanted to shoot a text to. This guy, his name was Chase. He had texted me back saying, no wholesalers headed to sign a contract for 135. Make it 140 and it's yours. 10-day close. Title is already open. Again, probably somebody that I don't really want to deal with. He's just like making it a little bit difficult. No wholesalers, 10-day. Like I don't want to have to. I want to be in control of the deal. I don't want him to dictate how this deal is going to go. I'm going to tell him what I can do. I can do this, and if that's something that you're interested in, we can do it. But I'm not gonna bend over backwards for you just so that we can, so that I can buy your property. I'm not desperate. You know what I mean? So what I just wanted to do is I wanted to shoot him a text. Um, After that, I said, not knowing anything about the condition, I would likely be in the ballpark of 110 to 130. Seems to me that your buyer put it all on the table for you. Good luck with closing that one out. Please keep me in mind in case things don't work out with this buyer. If you happen to have any other property you'd be interested in selling. That was the 28th of October. It has since been, 15 days? And he was talking about a 10-day close. So that's why I wanted to text him 4 days ago, but I'm late to it. I just wanted to text him, hey, Chase, just wanted to follow up on your property. Wanted to follow up about your property on Bennington Street. Was your buyer able to close on that one? Send that off, see if I get a response. I'm going to push this task out weekly until he replies to me. So that's good with that one. Come back to my dashboard. There has to be a way where I can go somewhere here. Scheduling, calendar maybe? Does it have my tasks on the calendar? It doesn't look like it. Whatever, I'll figure that out later. Late one day, revisit the comps. Has he sold that property? Any other property? Know anybody looking to sell? Let's see why I was asking myself that. Oh. Yeah, this is one that I'm just going to get rid of. He said, oh, we went back and forth a lot. He said, I'm asking 175. I can send you pics on this number if you will accept them. Okay, let me ask, has the place been fully remodeled? Yes, the place has been fully remodeled. So this was going to be a realtor referral. And at the end of the conversation, I tried pushing for that. And he said, my sister's a realtor, but thanks. I said, okay, went with the referral. If you know anybody, he said, will do. So this is not one that I'm wanting to follow up with. I'm just going to go ahead and put this into the a different pipeline stage. I'm going to put this one into the lost/MLS stage. Go ahead and mark that lost. Update that. And take the follow-up tag off of it as well. And add the lost tag. Boom. All right. That one's good. I mean, it's not good, but mark that one off the list. Revisit comps for Jaime. Oh, I think this is the gentleman that I just spoke with. Yeah. Okay, this is the guy I want to call right now, actually. This is the guy we're $5,000 apart. I was at 85. He was at 90. He wanted to talk with his wife. Last time we spoke was Wednesday, 2 days ago. So I gave him 2 days to speak with his wife, and I said I'd call him on Friday. Notes on this guy: 85 cash offer made by me, closing costs handled by me as well. I went for that pitch towards the end of the negotiation. Seller talked down to 90,000, said he would talk with his wife about the offer and call me back tomorrow. Gave Derek permission to follow up with him on Friday if he hadn't heard back. Property needs full rehab. Seller going out of town for 2 to 3 weeks. in 1 week or so. Seems open to putting an agreement together now and closing when he returns. Property owned free and clear. He's rented it out for 14 years and he's done with it. He doesn't want to do the repairs, he said. Current tenant been there for almost 10 years, pays $100 a month in rent month to month. No contract in place, no flooding to the property, which I think is a lie. Wants to sell his property and buy a new property for himself in Conroe or just out of the Houston city limits. So I'm going to give him a call. And this is one where I'm going to be ready to send him a contract. I'm going to bring that energy into the phone call. Have the e-signature shit ready to go on the separate tab. OG Fish Room subscribed to me today. Appreciate you. If you end up watching this video, I don't think you're in here now. I'm going through my emails and it'll notify me when. All right. Give this guy a call. See if he had a chance to talk about it with his wife. I asked, and this is something that I got from Keith Everett's course. You ask when they use the wife as an excuse. Of course, use this after you've already talked price. Of course, please do talk with your wife. I would have to do the same thing. I wouldn't want you to do it any other way. But let me ask you, how do you think she's going to feel about that price? About my 85? And he says, oh, like she'll like it, but I think she'll probably be more happy with 90, 95. So, you know what I mean? It's like he's talking for her, and him saying that at all just tells you that it was an excuse. It was not anything other than an excuse. Because now he's negotiating or speaking for her on her behalf. It's just funny. It's funny to me. But yeah, let me give him a call. Let me just make sure I got his address at least. Okay. Shoot the shit with him.
Our call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system. 7.
Hopefully this isn't my phone number, since that happened on the other one. I don't think there's any way for me to tell if it's popping up as spam. Although it wouldn't just not call through. Maybe it would though. Shit. You know what I mean? Maybe it would just not call through if the carriers flagged my numbers. I can definitely see that could be something that's happening. Although I would be getting errors. Give one more try.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system. 7 1 3
Leave him a
8
voice
2 2 2 4 2 6 is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hey, Jaime, this is Derek. We had talked the other day about your property over on Scott Street. Just wanted to give you a ring, follow up. We had kind of left off. We're very close on the numbers. I believe I was at 85 and you were at 90. And you just wanted the opportunity to speak with your wife before moving forward with anything, which I totally agree with. So just wanted to round back, see if you had the opportunity to speak with your wife. Wanted to know how she was feeling about it. So when you get a chance and you get this voicemail, feel free to give me a call back or just shoot me a text. Either one works for me. I look forward to speaking with you soon. Have a good one. Push this out to early next week. This one's hot. And again, he's going on vacation. So I want to, if it is going to be something that we lock up before that, excuse me, I want to make sure that I catch him before he leaves. Let me go back into the conversations and mark this guy not interested. Yeah, of course, baby, come over. Back over the dashboard, see who else I can call. Oh, this is kind of another one that I just wanted to follow up with. This guy was in escrow already. I said, have you given any thought to selling that one? He said, yes, I have. It is under contract to sell now. Ah, okay, I'm late to the party. Do you have a closing date scheduled yet? And he said, really not any of your business. I said, understood. Well, feel free to save my number and reach out if something comes up or you're unable to close for whatever reason. Cheers. That was 11 days ago. I'm going to shoot him a text similar to the one that I shot Chase. I'm going to say, hey there. Just wanted to follow up about your place on Arundel Street. Was your buyer able to close on that one for you? He'll probably be pissed. He seemed like that type of guy. I don't know why. It's really none of your business. You know what I mean? I just don't like. I don't want to have to deal with people like that. I'd much rather be in, doing deals with people who, right now, before I like build my confidence and all this and that and the third, I would just much rather be doing business with people who want to be doing business with me. I don't want to have to convince somebody that I'm the right person. If they don't think that I'm the right person, then so be it. I don't want to have to waste my time with them. As harsh as that sounds, and it's like, but I just know that that's the type of mentality that's going to work out because anything else I come across as desperate and it becomes less attractive to the seller. I'm going to give this person a call. Francisco texted me back yesterday after many texts, or after 3 texts and 2 ringless voicemails. I sent off the text that he responded to saying, did you have a number in mind that you'd be hoping to get for that property? Stop, buddy. No. He says 99,000. I said, okay, I'd love to learn a little bit about the property. Did you have a moment to talk? He never replied. Stop, buddy, please. He didn't respond. That was yesterday, so I just want to give him a call today. Let's see if I ran comps on this. I don't think I did, but no, I didn't. But same exact area. God, this dog, man. I can quickly run comps, but I'm not going to fully run comps. I will give him a call as I'm pulling all this up because I don't want to waste my time. Again, I've never talked to this guy on the phone, so 3-1, 836 square feet, 6,000 lot, 1945 year built. Property class, residential, single family. I'll go 600 minimum. I'll go like 1,100 maximum. Those 2 properties, year built. I'll go 1935 to 1955. Please, Leo, stop. 185 is like the only comp that I have, which is chill. That one is half mile away though, but it's all right. That one sold for 185. Ours would sell for 165. 150 square feet bigger. Ours would sell for 150. Our lot's almost 1,000 square feet bigger and 3 years newer. I think ours can go for 155, especially because this one sold maybe 2 months ago. I'd call our ARV one. I can call it 150 to be literally the same exact as the other property. Less than 15,000 square, 25,000, 1,500 square feet as well. So same kind of cost when I'm looking at rehab. I'm gonna have to bring my dog outside because this is not going to be. Yes, you. I don't want to have to keep looking over my shoulder. I guess he's all right. Let me give this guy a call. Francisco.
Hello?
Hey, Francisco.
Yeah?
Francisco, how's it going? This is Derek. We were going back and forth yesterday about your property on West Jackson Avenue.
Why?
Yeah, yeah. I just wanted to try to catch you at a good time and learn a little bit about that property. I know you had mentioned that you were looking for 99,000. Um, did I catch you at a good time?
Yeah,
Okay, perfect. Now, just out of curiosity, and you kind of threw the number out after I asked what you were interested in. Are you have you been interested in selling your property? Have you given some thought to it, or is that just kind of a, if you were to sell, you would sell for 99? Just trying to gauge how serious you were about selling there.
yeah. If I would have thought, 99, that would be the bottom line.
Okay, okay, yeah, and I guess that's
They're
why.
doing a, they're doing a lot of remod. They're doing a lot of. They're building a lot of new homes around that property. Around that property, as a matter of fact, and it's right next to elementary, the middle school. They're in walking distance, like 2 blocks away from the middle school, the high school, and the elementary. So,
Hmm, hmm.
I mean, that's the best I can do.
Yeah, yeah.
If you're gonna try to, you know, if you're trying to look for something cheaper, then you're probably gonna have to look somewhere else.
Yeah, and that's fine. That's why I wanted to give you a call. For us, just so it's me and a couple of partners here. We do have some cash on hand, so we are able to make cash offers, and we can buy the
Right.
properties, as is. You don't have to do anything to it, anything like that. But at the same time, we are looking for properties that do need a little bit of love, so that we can build in
Right.
the equity by doing the repairs ourselves, and then
Correct.
as well, by no means are we looking to hit the lottery, but we are, looking to make a slight profit as well. So at the 99,000 mark, it would probably be a little bit out of our price range. But let me ask you,
Right.
is the property kind of up to speed, up to par with, renovations and whatnot?
No, well, it's. I mean, right now it's in the process of being remodeled. So
Oh, okay.
once it gets remodeled, I mean, I'm gonna probably ask for 120.
Right, right.
So, but
Yeah,
I'm gonna fully remodel it from the inside, and it's gonna have AC. Right now, it doesn't have It doesn't have a central AC, but I'm gonna put a central AC.
uh-huh.
I took out all the sheetrock, put new insulation, new sheetrock, new electricity.
Right.
It's probably gonna be pretty much done all brand new. So
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And
gonna
I try to be as honest with everybody. If that's something that
right,
you're able to do and that's something that you're wanting to do, then I actually recommend it. You will make more money that way by all
right.
means. I definitely think
Oh
that
yeah,
that 120 is doable. I definitely think you'll be able to take down that, if not more, as long as like you're saying, repair every single thing in there. Um,
yeah. I'm gonna do that. So
yeah,
right now I'm looking at 99 the way it is, or I'm gonna put maybe like 15 grand into it, and then I'm just gonna ask for 120.
sure, sure. That makes sense. All right. Well, I would hate
Yeah.
myself if I didn't at least throw out an offer so for us, we would probably be somewhere in the ballpark of like 50 to 65, just the slight repairs that you were talking about. And
Right.
again, having to make a profit. So understand if that's out of your price range, but please, feel free to save my number, keep me in mind if you're just wanting to kind of wipe your hands clean with it and you don't want to end up going through with all the repairs and all that. But at the same time, I was going to ask, do you have a realtor in mind that you'd be looking to list with once the repairs were done?
No, not really.
Okay.
I
Well,
don't have anybody.
so myself and my partners that I'm speaking of about, we're investors. We're not licensed realtors, but we do work closely with some realtors that help us out with our listings. So I just want to toss that around, and I like to recommend or suggest to people who don't have a realtor in mind, if that's something that you're open with, I can provide him your contact information. That way you would just at least know your options, and then if you want to list with him, perfect. And then if not, no hard feelings, no bad blood. Again, just so you know your options.
Right. No, that's fine. I mean, but just right now I'd have to wait until I finish it.
Sure, sure, exactly. Yeah, what do you what's the timeline looking like, you think?
I don't know. Maybe between now and next year, by the beginning of next year, between
Right,
now and January.
right, right. Yeah, like, so you're looking at probably like 3 4 months.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
something like that.
All right. Well, again, I appreciate you taking the call, and I hope I haven't wasted too much of your time here. Again,
No,
please feel free, save my number. That's kind of the range that we'd be looking at. If anything comes up and you want to entertain that, please feel free to give me a call, shoot me a text, whatever. And then I will kind of just take note that that's your intention with this, is to fix it up yourself and list it on market to get top dollar for it. And I'll kind of pass your information along to the realtor that I was speaking about. That way he can reconnect with you in that like maybe two month mark, so that when you're nearing the end of your project there, you can guys can kind of get the ball rolling on getting it listed on market.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right,
Appreciate it.
appreciate you, Francisco. Have a good one. All right.
Bye.
So that's that. He that I wanted to ask that in the beginning too. Like, how serious are you? Because again, I don't think that it was. I wanted to. The reason I wanted to approach it like that was because he hadn't texted me back until I gave him that window to throw me out a number, which is why I have that text in there as well. But I had texted him, ringless voicemail. Next day, texted him, ringless voicemail. Next day, texted him. So on day 3, when I said, "Did you have a number in mind you'd be hoping to get?" He said 99. That's all he said was 99K. And then I said, "Did you have a moment to talk?" Didn't reply. So I gave him a call now. Learned, yeah, 99K. The way that I asked, I was trying not to be so direct about it, but I essentially said, you know, are you interested in selling, or did you just throw that number out there and you would sell if you got that? That's how I wanted to frame it, and that's how I will frame it in the future. Like, have you thought about selling and you're interested in selling, or did you just throw that number out because that's what you'd be hoping to get if you were to sell? You know, or you would sell if you got that number. Because even people who say that, and I were to be like, yeah, I'll do 99, they're gonna be like, you will, I wasn't really thinking about selling anyways. You know what I mean? I'm not looking for people who aren't even interested in selling. So that's what I tried to get out of the way right away. And he pretty much told me like, I'm not interested. I didn't pre-qualify him very fully, but he said that's the best I could do, not a penny less. And if we were closer, I maybe would have gone through the pre-qualification. But he had mentioned um, it needs an AC unit. Uh, if it needs an AC unit, I don't even know what else he was talking about. But I automatically put him into the average rehab. I would imagine that if it needs even a little bit of work with the AC included, it's going to be an average rehab. It's not going to be just like a carpet paint type deal. And that's what I would have it. That's what would have needed to be for me to be in like the $80,000 range. And then at that, then we can maybe start talking where, I can come up to 85 and take a less of an assignment fee. But the fact that it needs so much work, I would have to be probably 70 max. And we're talking $30,000 difference. And he's already talking that's the best he can do, and that he has the intention on fixing it. So then I automatically switched over to the realtor referral. He seemed open to it. So I'm going to take note of that. Um, Spoke with seller, mentioned 99K is his best price. Plans on doing the remodel himself over the course of the next 3 months. Derek switched gears to a realtor referral instead, and Francisco was open to it. I'm going to set myself a task to maybe what I'm going to do first, since it's like I don't want to give my realtor this referral yet because he's not ready to list, right? Um, what I want to do is let it breathe. I'll call him again in the beginning of the year and say, "Hey, how's the renovation project going?" And he's either going to say, "Oh, it's going great. I'm almost done," and I can say, "All right, perfect. Yeah, my realtor should be reaching out soon. I wanted to wait. It's pretty much what I just said. I wanted to wait, just like you had mentioned. You wanted to wait to connect with him first, or you wanted to finish your renovation before connecting with him. So now that I've confirmed that you are well along your renovation project, I'll go ahead and have him reach out, right? Or he's gonna say, "Oh no, I haven't gotten around to doing that," and hopefully at that point enough time has passed and enough pain has settled in where he's like, "I don't want to do that. How much was your offer again?" You know what I mean? So that's gonna be the two options. Follow up early January, first week of January, about 2 months from now. If he was really about it, he would be done with his renovation project at that point. But again, this guy isn't even really interested. So I don't want to like knock him. He's just feeling it out. He was a nice guy. Um, so I'm gonna leave it at follow up, and then I'm gonna leave myself a note here. Call to pre-qualify. See how far along he is with his renovation project. Um, reiterate realtor referral if appropriate. Boom. Back to the dashboard. Having a lot of quality conversations over the past few days. This week, I've definitely been talking with people who are warmer than cold. It's just that the fact that I'm talking numbers, I'm throwing out offers. That's what I'm most proud about myself, is that I'm not hesitant to throw out offers. Even that guy, he wasn't gonna budge, but I said it on the phone. I said, you know what? I'd hate myself if I at least didn't give you an offer. But just knowing what you told me about the place and the repairs that it needs, again, we would be able to come in cash. Do this benefit, and we would be probably in the ballpark of, I think I said 50 to 65, and he said 99 firm, 99,000. So wasn't worth it. Uh, he switched gears again to saying that he was planning on doing the renovations anyways, and he knows that he'll be able to get way more than 99 after he does the renovations. Which I tell him, yeah, you will be. You definitely would get more if you just did the work yourself. And then I switched gears to the realtor referral. I asked if he had anybody in mind that he was going to list with after the repairs were done. He said no. And then I pitched the realtor referral. Okay, well, we work closely with a realtor here. I'd love to get you guys, in contact, and if anything, he'll just be able to kind of lay out your options for you. If you end up listing with him, perfect. If not, no bad blood, no hard feelings. I just want to make sure that you know all of your options, and the realtor will be able to present you the options and listing it on market much better than I would be able to, because I'm not a licensed realtor. So that's what I did there. This guy I went back and forth with. He is selling two properties, and I went back and forth with him in Spanish, actually, through text. I was using Google Translate. The gist of it, I'll kind of scroll through the conversation. I said, "Are you free to talk?" And he said, "You speak Spanish?" And I said, "No, but I can translate like this. Just wanted to confirm you want to sell." And he said, "Yeah, I have two houses on the same lot. He says, "Are you ready to buy?" I said, "Yeah, I'm ready, and we can pay cash." Um, are both houses for sale? And he said, "Yeah, both of them are on the same lot, 308 and 310." I said, "All right, perfect. What type of repairs are needed? For example, is the roof need to be replaced? Has any other repairs to the inside that are needed?" And he says, he mentioned some like bogus repairs. They're not even repairs. He was like, "Yeah, I painted." I don't even remember what he says, but it just wasn't like actual repairs. So that leads me to believe that it will be a full rehab. Because again, I said this in another video when I was talking about this guy. If he's done any, people are proud of their repairs. People are proud of their renovations. If he did something significant, he would say, "Oh yeah, I did this to the bathroom. I replaced the roof. This, that, and the third." People are proud about the work that they do to their house. So if I'm gonna give them the window of opportunity to tell me the type of stuff they've done, and all they tell me is like, "Oh yeah, I think he said he like raised the property up on blocks to prevent flooding," and it's like, well, that's like more of a necessity. It's not like a luxury. It's not a renovation. What up, OG's Fish Room? What's going on? Just calling some leads here, following up with some people. This is going to be one that I unfortunately cannot call because he's a Spanish speaker. Uh, he says, okay, so this is how it ended. He asked, "Do you need to come see the property?" And I said, in Spanish, I said, "No. Um, we're very confident in our numbers. As long as there's no serious termite damage, mold, or anything like that." And I said, I tried to, so I had asked how much he was looking for. And that's when he said, "Don't you need to come see it?" And then I said that, and then I reiterated it in a different way, pretty much asking his asking price, and he didn't respond. So I'm going to text him back right now, pull up Google Translate, to say something along the effect of, "I was hoping to hear from you. OG's Fish Room. I'm here. Meet me." Spanish. I'm gonna say, or no, I need to type it in English. I'm tripping. Type it in English. Enter text. Yeah, I'm gonna say, what's his name? Enrique. I wanted to follow up about your properties. I want. I'm gonna ask him again. Did you have a number? Did you have it? I'm gonna be blunt about it. How much did you want? How much did you want for both? Copy, paste, send. Take this task. Hopefully he responds, but for now I'm gonna push it out weekly. This is a weird property too. He has like a lot next door, and the two properties that he's talking about are not side by side. They're actually stacked vertically, so you have to like drive past one of the houses to get to the second one. But he does own the vacant lot right next to it, so I think it's just a double lot new construction play where you would buy both and then tear both the properties down on the right and rebuild either a really big house on that double lot or two single families on the separate lots there. I emailed you my number. Oh, that was you. I saw that. I was like, who the hell is this? OG's Fish Room. Okay. I saw that and I was like, I don't know who this is. Um, that makes sense though. Yeah, what's up, man? I mean, what's going on? What do you need from me? I'm here to help. Do you have something specific? All right, so that's everything via text. All my follow-ups that have been, hey, yo, what's up, CWL? How's it going? Going pretty good. Going pretty good. I am just looking to toss out some offers today, really. That's kind of been my goal through this week is just to at least toss out. I want to toss out at least one offer a day. I know that may not seem like something crazy to a lot of people, but um, I just want to get consistent with it. I think one offer a day, one offer a day to hot leads. That's another thing. I want to make an offer, but I don't want to just throw it out there. Hey, yo, what did I miss? You didn't miss much, man. I called through all of my leads or my follow-ups rather. None of them were really hot, or rather, the hot ones didn't answer. So I called through everybody that I have generated through text, and now I'm going to hop over to my dialer. I kind of went on a little rant earlier about the inconvenience of this now because I used to just have everything in my Moto dialer, and I was using that as my CRM. But now I have my texting software and my dialer. So if I generate a lead through my texting, I set my follow-up task on my texting platform, and then same goes for my dialer. If I generate a lead while cold calling, I set my follow-up task on my dialer. So it's a little bit difficult to like balance the two and bounce back and forth between the two, but really no big deal. So I just went through right now and I called through all of the people who I've been in communication with through texting, and now I'm switching over to my dialer, see if I can call anybody off there. What SMS service are you using? It's a secret. It's a secret, CWL. Uh, it's really not. I've seen other people use it, but at the same time, I pay for this coaching program that I'm a part of, and my coach has gone through the effort of making it an exclusive offer for just the coaching program. So I want to do right by him. You know what I mean? It would be shady of me, I think, to take this platform that he has, put in so much effort to make exclusive to his coaching program, and he does not publicly advertise it, although he has like tens of thousands of social media followers. So I just think that I want to do right by him. I think it'd be shady if I took his game that he's holding private and then made it public to everybody else. So kind of just withholding that for now. But at one point, he's mentioned, he will start advertising it publicly. People are going to catch on to this. It's a really, I'm able to text for very cheap. I can send off 100 texts for 75 cents, 1,000 for 750, 10,000 texts a month for 75 bucks. So super cheap. And again, I just want to do right by him. I don't want to take his game that he's given me and then go run my mouth with it. Hopefully that makes sense, and I'm not. Hopefully you aren't upset with me about that, and you can understand where I'm coming from. Yeah, I just want to talk about starting off in wholesaling when you have a moment. Yeah, what's up, man? OG's Fish Room. Drop your comments right here. And not that I don't want to get on the phone with you, but I'm always running around, and I don't really necessarily have the time to be getting on and giving out all types of free game. But I'm hoping that the free game that I offer here is enough. And really, really, also why I would recommend that you just drop your questions here is so that you can take action. This is something that I made a mistake of, and I know a lot of beginners make the mistake of as well. Is they they want to soak up so much, like I need to know about this. I need to know about what happens after I get the contract. I need to know about what happens if this pops up in the title search. Um, you're just gonna overwhelm yourself, and then you're never gonna take action. Since you're starting off, this is what I'm gonna tell you. Hopefully, you have money to invest in it because you're gonna need a little bit of money. And this is what I'm gonna tell you to do. Either drive for dollars if you have the means of doing it in your market, or I don't know if you're gonna do it virtually. If you are gonna do it virtually, go check out my little mini series that I have on my YouTube channel. It's my pro. That's what I do. I virtually drive for dollars. I just drove for dollars this morning for like 2 or 3 hours. Generated a list of like probably like 100 today. I went crazy this morning. But build you a list of like a couple hundred, say like 500, 1,000 preferably, but get you a nice size list. If you don't want to do that, if you don't want to drive for dollars, just buy a list. But if you're going to do that, I would recommend you buying a list of like a few thousand records because these are the people who are getting contacted by way more investors. So, uh, again, get you a list, whether you want to drive for dollars or pull the list and buy it. Skip trace that list using batch skip tracing. There's a link in the bio of all of my videos. It is a referral link. I am not even sure. Nobody's used it. I'm not even sure how much I end up getting paid if somebody does end up using that link, but I would appreciate it. By no means do you have to. I don't want to, convince you to use the link in my bio, but batchskiptracing.com. I think it's 20 cents a record. So if you get a list of 1,000 driving for dollars properties for free, then you would skip trace it and pay $200 to get the phone numbers associated for those properties. Get you a dialer. I would recommend Mojo at this point, only because that's what I've used to generate and close my 2 deals. I don't just have enough knowledge, and I haven't been using call tools enough to really recommend it. So I would recommend Mojo. That way, if you have questions on it, you can come to me and I can kind of point you in the right direction and call them. Get you a script, and then call them. Literally just start the conversation. And I wouldn't think about anything else. I literally would not think about anything else. I would get a list, skip trace it, call the list, try to hone in on a good handful of people that are interested, and then kind of set some follow-up calls, right? And that's what I was going on a rant about myself earlier is I've been recognizing that on my initial cold calls, I'm kind of scaring people away. I think I get overly excited when somebody's like, "Yeah, I'll sell," and then I mistakenly have the thought of I need to get this locked up right now, and I think that scares people off. Rather, what I should be doing is setting myself an alley oop for the future, setting myself a follow up call, and setting those follow up expectations with the seller, and saying, "Okay, I would hate." What I said to the guy yesterday was, I would hate to just throw out a number that I couldn't honor. What I'd love to do is, I'll give you a week. What based off what you're telling me too is it doesn't sound like you're necessarily ready to pull a trigger right now, anyways. So let's take a week. You talk with your daughter and your ex-wife. In the meantime, I'll run my numbers. I'll do my little market research of the activity in the area. That way, when I do make you an offer, I'm going to leave everything on the table, right? I'll be able to make you the best offer. Whereas right now, I would kind of just be throwing out a number that will probably be lower than if I were to actually do my research because I have to kind of uh, be hesitant to increase my offer so much, right? Whereas if I had the time to go through and research, then I will know my top offer. So just kind of implement something like that where you're setting up a follow up call. That way you're not stressed on the initial cold call, and you can take the 1-2 approach. First cold call, build rapport, learn everything, pre-qualify the most you can. The second call, if it's appropriate and it matches the timeline of the seller, go for the close. But don't just try your best not to like convince yourself that you got to go for the close on that first cold call. And that's something that I'm working on myself right now. Something that I've identified. I think I'm scaring off sellers. I think I'm too overly excited on the initial cold call. And I think that it was because my 2 deals have come that way. My first deal, I called the woman. She said, "Yep, we're interested in selling. Call me tomorrow when I'm going to be with my husband and we can talk about it." I called the following morning, got on the phone with the husband. The husband said, "Yep, we're going into debt. We need to sell. How much are you gonna give me?" I said, "I'm gonna give you this." It wasn't that quick. It wasn't as abrupt as I'm making it seem, but it was the second call, literally. So within 24 hours of the initial cold call, I got the contract signed. My second deal, same thing. This time it was within an hour. I was on the cold call with him initially, pre-qualified him the best that I could. I took a step back and did exactly what I just said. Okay, you know what I want to do? I want to take maybe 20, 30 minutes, do a little bit of homework on my end, research. I want to talk with my funding partners, make sure that they're on board as well with these offers and these price points. And I'll give you a quick call back. Is that all right? Yep. Called him back 20 minutes later, renegotiated everything and locked it up. You know what I mean? So I think I've kind of tricked myself into thinking that it can be done. I know it can be done, but I also think that I got lucky that it happened twice in a row within 30 days of each other, and both those deals closed for my first two deals. You know what I mean? So I think I tricked myself into thinking that was common, and now I'm taking a step back. Like, that's not how it usually works. Um, so OG's Fish Room. That was all in response to you about starting wholesaling. Don't think anything beyond that for now. That's my opinion. That's my recommendation. Do what you want. But my recommendation, build a list, skip trace the list, call the list using a dialer because it will be most efficient if you have the money to do that. If you don't have the money to do that, buy the list or sorry, generate the list for free, driving for dollars. I would still skip trace it. I wouldn't use what other people do and they use like True People Search for free skip tracing, not even really skip tracing. But I would still pay for the skip tracing and then hand dial if you don't have the money for a power dial or a triple line dialer. So that's my recommendation. And then beyond that, I wouldn't even bother trying to go crazy about learning everything, this, that, and the third. I'm almost envious of you at the position that you're in because you have such a clean slate, and I wish that could go back and knowing what I know now, approach the business the way that I'm talking about. Just don't overwhelm yourself with all the information that's out there. I liked what you did yesterday when you told the caller we pay cash, and because we pay cash, we can close on your timeline. Don't even mention closing costs and as is. Exactly, exactly. So that's something else that I'm really wanting to work on is withholding the benefits. Jordan Belfort, I always say this. Jordan Belfort, the Wolf of Wall Street, would refer to it as blowing your load. You don't want to blow your load too early, which is what every wholesaler nowadays is being taught to do. So even just making this little tweak is something that I think has separated myself from the pack. You know, everybody right now is hopping on the phone and saying, we can pay cash, we can buy it as is, we can cover the closing costs, and yada 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 yada. With no commissions, no fees. Everybody's saying that because everybody uses the same script, which is cool because it will work. But I think in order to do this in volume, I think, because again, I'm not doing this in volume, but I think that the best way to offset that and to really differentiate yourself is to not do those things. And it's beneficial to you, right? Like Jordan Belfort says, don't blow your load. And like my coach has been instilling in me, withhold those benefits and use them as negotiation pieces. So don't just come on the phone right when they say, yeah, I'm interested in selling and say, okay, well, we can do this for you. We can do this for you. We can do this for you. Not only are you blowing your load, but it comes across as desperate. And the seller is going to easily pick up on that and be like, all right, chill out, man. Like, I said I'm interested, but like, you're going crazy right now. You know what I mean? So there's benefit in, like you're saying, J-Lep, when the guy was saying, oh, it needs this repair, this repair, this repair, this repair. And I really don't want to deal with it. Only at that point in the conversation, which was like halfway through the conversation, did I say, or I don't know if I said it on that one, but that was my intention. And what I plan to do moving forward is, okay, well, I hear what you're saying that it needs all those repairs. Like, what if I could, I don't know, buy it as is? What if you didn't have to make those repairs? I think that that's something that we'd be able to do. You know what I mean? And I get that from Cody Hoffine. If I'm able to do this, what if I am, it's not like, yeah, I can do that. I can do that. I can do that. Again, coming across as desperate, but it's like, you have a problem and I think I have a solution. You know, what do you think about this solution? Which is pretty much what I'm saying is, I hear what you're saying. You don't want to do the repairs. Completely understand. It needs this, it needs that, it needs this. What if, and it's almost like you're collaborating, right? You're collaborating with the seller. What if I could buy it as is? That way you don't have to do the repairs. It's like you're coming up with the idea off the top of your head, uh, rather than reading a script. Or, we're only $5,000 apart. I'm at 85, you're at 90. I don't want to be cliche and ask you to meet in the middle, but what if, let's say, what if I could cover the closing costs? Typically they run about 1 to 2% of the purchase price. In this case, it'd probably be about $1,000. What if I could just cover that so that you'll walk away with that net offer? You'll know how much you're going to walk away with before we even close. So that's what I've been doing. That's something that I'm continuing to work on. But yeah. So let me see if there's anybody else that I can call in here. Irma, see what her story was. Uh, I'm not even gonna follow up with that guy. That was the guy who was like cursing me out and was like, he was like, I've been offered 40 to 80. I want 100. It just wouldn't have made sense either way. I don't even know why I set myself a follow up. Wasn't interested yet. Asked for callback in 1 month. That was back in May. This was a lead that my partner had generated when I was working with him. So this is one that had slipped through the cracks. Excuse me, a little bit. And am just revisiting it that I've moved that data over from my dialer. So this is what I was saying earlier. I don't necessarily want to call these people off of my Google Voice number because I want to preserve that number as best as possible because that is quote unquote my cell phone with a local area code to my virtual market. So I keep that number and communication using that number to only my hot leads. Um, Sorry, I just saw I had a missed call here on my that number. Doesn't look like anything though. But I'll give them a call. I just don't want to again be calling like cold leads off of this number and then them get pissed off and then to report it as spam because again I plan on having this number forever. But give this guy a call. His name is Patrick. Don't have anything. It was literally just probably a 5-second conversation that my partner had with him. Not interested in selling, but will be in the future. Give me a call in a month. That was back in May. He still owns it. I see he has a $4,500 tax delinquent lien, so he's not paying his taxes. He owns the property free and clear, but the taxes are stacking up. So this is probably a good opportunity here. Give him a call, see what he's talking about. Ooh, I'm nervous. I've been getting nervous. I don't know what that's all about. All right, it dropped. I'm gonna let it breathe for a second while I run these. I was starting to run the comp while I was dialing out. I'm gonna put in slight parameters. 1960. See if anything pops up. 19 properties. Bring it down to a quarter mile. 3 properties. Perfect. 120, 171, 135. All of them within 2/10 of a mile. The first one is in our immediate subdivision and the most recently sold. Has a half less bath. Ours gets up for 125. Probably like 120. I wonder what the estimated value was. This might have been sold as is. This one sold for 171 in the beginning of this year. Same beds, bath. Theirs is about 200 square feet bigger, so ours could probably go for 151, and theirs is about almost 3,000 square feet bigger on the lot. So 150. I wonder what the estimate on this is. I'm gonna go ahead and close out of this. Pull up Zillow, see what this estimate on this particular property is. Just out of curiosity, again, I know I'm wasting my time here, but I'm just curious because of those comps. They're so across the board, 120, 170, and 135. And the Zestimate's 146, and the estimated value on PropStream is 168. So I think 170 is probably appropriate. This one sold for 171 with about 180 extra square feet on the house and like 2,700 extra square feet on the lot. Same year built, and this one sold almost a year ago. So just with the appreciation alone, ours could probably sell for around that price. I'd call ARV probably 170. Square feet is 1,000. My max on this is gonna be like 120 less repairs. For a 1,000 square foot home, I'm either looking at like anywhere between 60 to 100. It's gonna be like 60 heavy repair, 80 average, 100 light. I'm gonna give him a call back, hit him with the double tap. I will always love dogs. What's up, bro? I'm gonna read your comment in 1 second. I love your name too, by the way.
Your call has been forwarded.
All right, that time you can tell he hung up on me, so I'm gonna take note of that because I might not want to call him back from this number. Let's say double tap. Seemed like the second time he dropped the call immediately. Push this out. I mean, he said a month, and I can tell again this is a good one. I'll push this out a month, or I'll push it out 2 weeks. I was already behind on that. The day after Thanksgiving, I'll follow up the next Monday. See what George Allen is all about. I will always love dogs. Hi, bro. I usually don't cold calling. I only started cold calling after watching your videos. Nice. My first cold call session was this morning. Went pretty well. No leads yet, but no cussing me out either. Don't even worry about the cussing people out, bro. That comes with it. It's all part of the game. I like when people cuss me out. I really do. That means I'm one step closer to that. Yes. You're not cold calling. You're not making calls if you're not getting cussed out. You know what I mean? Or at least you're not doing it at scale. You're not doing it enough. If you're not getting cussed out, you're not calling enough. That's what I would tell you. You didn't call enough today because you didn't get cussed out. But I'm proud of you. At the same time, I'm only kind of joking. You know what I mean? I'm really proud of you. That's awesome. You had the courage, you had the guts to hop on the call and embrace the cursing out, even if it didn't happen. You were ready for it. So that's awesome. I'm proud of you. Congratulations for taking that leap, and now just stay consistent with it, man. Stay consistent with it. With me. Stay consistent with me. I want to reread that though. I usually don't cold call. Yeah, I'm curious. Have you been wholesaling for a while? You say you usually don't cold call. Were you doing something else to try to market? Different marketing channels. I only started cold calling after watching your videos, and that makes me really happy to hear, man. I'm telling you, that makes me really happy to hear the fact that it sounds like encouraged you at least a little bit to hop on the phones. It's intimidating at first. Like I was saying, I just kind of joked around. Like the nerves are never going to go away. You hear pros and all these gurus, they'll tell you that. Like, of course, I still get nervous when I get on the calls. But you know why they're successful is because they do it anyways. They get nervous and they still call, which is what I'm trying to embrace. Right? Is I'm here. I'm telling you guys, like my heart is pounding for some reason. Like I usually isn't that bad, but over the past few days, I've been tripping. I don't know why, but probably because I'm seeing so much opportunity. But yeah, man. But I'm gonna do it anyways. I'm not gonna sit here and shy away from it because I'll tell you the easiest way to not get a deal is to not make the call, and the only way to get the deal is to make the call. So I'm trying to be honest with myself. I'm trying to make money. I'm trying to do big things. I need to stop playing around. You know what I mean? So that's to go back to it. That's amazing. I will always love dogs. I love dogs, and that's incredible. Congratulations. I text Zillow leads. Okay, because they are warm leads, and they want to sell for sale by owners. I'd imagine. Yeah, get on the phones, man. Get on the phones. Especially if that's the marketing channel you're coming from is texting Zillow leads. You're right in that you know that they want to sell, but those leads are going to be very few and far between that they are going to um, be willing to sell at a discount because they think that if it is for sale by owner, like I don't know, I've never personally tried to market to for sale by owners, but in my head, the concept behind it is they think that they know best. They think that I don't need to get an agent. I'll just list it myself. I'm going to get just as much attention wrong. The market's so hot right now. I can list it at whatever price. Somebody's going to bite wrong. You know what I mean? It's they. I don't know though. I don't know. I'm curious to know what your experience with those type of sellers are. I just have stayed away from it for that reason. I haven't even confirmed it myself again, but it's just that's the thought in my head. So that's probably how I would approach those conversations, which is not what I'm wanting to do. Just an empty lot. George thinks there are liens on it, possible child support lien from his father who passed away. The lot was willed down to his aunts, but he owns the property now and has been paying taxes on it for 20 years. Thinks there will be a title issue with liens. This is a lot. I remember having a conversation with this guy. Yeah. For being okay. Assessed value in 2020 is 31,000. I could probably pay a little bit more than that. I know the area going for they're going for like 280. I could probably get away with paying like 5 is what I'd want to keep it at. Let me give him a call. I don't know why we didn't end up. I don't know why we didn't end up getting something worked out. My notes just kind of end right there. But I had talked to him back in April, so I'm gonna revisit that phone call right now. See if he's given any more thoughts, just parting ways with it.
Hello?
Hey, George.
Yes?
George, how's it going? This is Derek. I don't know if you recall, we had spoke a few months back in regards to your lot over on South 7th Street.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just wanted to follow up. I know at the time you had kind of mentioned that you think that there's some liens on the property, and it is just that lot there, and you've been paying taxes on it for I think you mentioned like 20 years. I'm not quite sure how we finished that phone conversation. I'm kind of just reviewing our notes here. I'm not sure why we didn't end up trying to make something happen, but I just wanted to revisit that conversation, see if you've given it any more thought and are still interested in selling that place there.
Well, so I was able to do some record searches online.
Okay.
I think what happened was the original time they ran the title search, like 10 years ago,
Hmm.
or I don't know how long ago it was. They didn't have as many of the records online as they did now, and so the title company ran the search. They just got hits against the name, my dad's name, which
Right.
is generic, George Allen, and they didn't actually match those up against him. So when I got online and actually got the case numbers of some things that they had tried to attach and say that they were against the title, it turned out to be, the same name but totally different person and
Okay.
different, cities and like not related at all.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I don't think there was anything encumbering it.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I mean, I don't.
I haven't actually, put that from a title company or anything.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, I mean, all of that aside, I don't know if that was like the specific reason that you were possibly interested in selling, but now that that is the case, and there's nothing really, like you were saying, encumbering the property there. Do you still have any interest in selling that lot?
I had one person I was talking to, which was actually the next door neighbor
Hmm.
who had wanted to buy the lot. So I may get back in touch with them now that I've looked into the title.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I mean they were actually going to buy the land last time, and that's when the title issue came up.
Ah,
Uh, that's that's when the sale, didn't go through.
right, right. That makes
Uh,
sense. Okay.
but
Well,
I think we're past that. So now it's just we're gonna try and get in touch with them, or see if there's a decent price
yeah.
out there for it.
Yeah, definitely. And I'll tell you what, we're interested. I don't know if I mentioned it last time or if you recall, but it's my partner and myself. We kind of work in the Houston metro area. We are interested in Laporte here. Especially because of the new construction and the fact that this is a lot. I mean, it's not popping up all over the place, but there is definitely some new construction going on in the area, so there is a demand for it. And we can kind of identify that. So we would be interested in the lot. We can pay cash, and kind of for that reason, we could kind of work with your timeline as well. We're not really bound by any type of requirements that you would typically see if you were to get like a conventional loan or anything like that. So did you have a kind of a timeline if we were able to come to an agreement on how quickly you'd like to get it taken care of?
I mean, my timeline is not limited. I was gonna sit on it for another 20 years if I had to.
Okay, okay. All right. And it is that place, just to confirm it, it's owned free and clear. It's the only payments that you're making on it are the tax payments.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Well, it seems like again, it is a property that we're interested in, and if I could come in and pay cash and do everything that I just mentioned, did you have a number in mind that you'd be hoping to clear on it?
Um, well, what do you think?
Yeah, for us,
I was
go
go
on. I'm
ahead.
sorry. Hello.
Because I've got a pretty good amount in it just from the hurricane hit the house, and I didn't manage to get anything out of that,
Mm,
but I had to tear it down, at my own cost.
sure, sure.
Um, and it was my grandparents' house that they had built in the 40s.
Mm,
Um, so, um, but just the taxes that's put into it and everything else. I
right.
was hoping to kind of recoup a little bit of that, which is
Yeah.
a couple hundred thousand over the years.
Mm,
Um,
okay.
but on the flip side, it's land that only ever accrues. So
Right, right,
I'm not. That's not burning a hole in my pocket either.
right, right. I gotcha. Yeah. So, I mean, we're looking at the new construction, like I said, because that would be the play here, right? Is to just build a new property on that lot of land. So that's kind of how we're looking to base our offers. And like you're saying, the land itself isn't necessarily appreciating or depreciating. Well, it is, but it's kind of synonymous with the new construction and how much that is going for. So just looking at
Right.
the go on. I'm sorry, I feel like I continue
Mm-hmm.
to interrupt you, but just looking
Oh no.
looking at that, and being able to come in cash, just make it a real smooth, easy transaction for everybody involved. We would probably be around the 35 to 45,000 cash.
Hmm. Okay. Well, I'll keep that in mind.
Okay. Yeah. What do how do you kind of feel about that price there?
Well, I think I'm gonna try and hold out for a little higher,
Sure.
or see see if the neighbor wanted to get the lot because they were kind of first in line just on account of helping out and keeping the grass not down. Stuff like that. So
Gotcha. Of course.
gonna give them a chance anyway.
Of
But
course. Yeah, and that's kind of
you
what I
know,
was gonna.
outside of them, I kind of want to hold out.
Sure, sure. Yeah, I was gonna say that too. Like you're kind of mentioning the selling to the neighbors. That's always the best bet. It's gonna be the easiest for you. And like you're saying, it sounds like you guys have a relationship already built. So that's all. I would always recommend if the neighbor wants it, by all means. So why don't I do this if it's appropriate and if it's okay with you? Maybe follow up in a month or two, give you time to speak with the neighbors, see what they're thinking, and then just kind of revisit the conversation, see if you've given it any more thought, or see if you've maybe received some more offers.
Maybe early spring because I don't anticipate anything happening between now and the holidays.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, try me again in the spring. Appreciate it.
Okay, will do. Thank you for your time.
And your name again?
My name is Derek.
Derek.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot who you were with.
Oh, it's just
You're in Houston.
it's yeah, we're in Houston. It's just me and a couple of partners here, a little family-owned business. It's not nothing corporate by any means. So again, we do like 1 to 2 projects a month, just looking to keep busy.
Right.
And yeah, we have some cash on hand, so that's why we're looking for something before the end of the year. But we are always kind of liquidating and rebuying. So when it comes time, early
Sure.
spring, I'll be sure to give you a call.
All right. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you so much for your time. Have a good holiday season as well.
You too.
All right, bye now. Uh, he is somebody who I'm going to want to follow up with. His heads are in the clouds. The new construction itself is not going for anything higher than 300,000. In fact, I was looking at it while I was on the phone with him. The highest is like 275, but in his exact area, like 240, 250 is really what the new construction is going for. And he had thrown out. You heard me on the phone. This is something that I'm trying to work on as well because I know that it's beneficial, but it's difficult to do. Is to let them talk. When your nerves are going like mine are, you have such a strong urge to like just keep talking, and like convince them that you're the best bet. And I'm trying my very best to just let the conversation breathe and to allow them to talk. And he was a perfect example because he was a very slow talker. He was having to think about what he said. Uh, yeah, I mean, you know, I talked with the neighbor. That's how he was talking, and that was really difficult for me to, for my nerves and my anxiety. Like, spit it out, man. Like, do you like the price or not? But that's something that I'm really wanting to work on because I know it is beneficial. But proud of myself. Threw out a number. His heads are in the clouds. He says he wants to recoup what has been put into it. That's the problem. Is you heard him say it too. It's not burning a hole in his pocket. These tax payments that he's making on the lot is not it's not hurting him. But at the end of the day, he has not realized that there is no benefit. It's not burning a hole in his pocket, but it's wasted money. He's spending money on nothing. He's just paying taxes on this lot that he doesn't have any plans to do. Stop, buddy, please. At least that's what I don't think that he plans on building a house. That's the only thing that can be done with this lot. So you hear Brent Daniels say it. People with lots, they're going to be polar opposites. You're either going to find somebody with a lot that wants hundreds of thousands like this guy, or you're going to find somebody who's going to let the lot go for dirt cheap because they've already sat on it for years and they now realize I'm not going to build a house here. I don't know why I have paid these tax payments. He's paid them for 20 years. 20 years he's been paying taxes on this property. And he still hasn't come to the realization that I need to get rid of this thing. You know what I mean? It may have some sentimental value to him. He said his grandparents, I don't know if he said they built it, but they bought it in like the 40s, passed down to his dad, now passed down to him. So that probably is the case. But he said he was trying to recoup the funds that he used to demo the property after the hurricane and all the tax payments that he's made over 20 years. Come on, bro. You're not getting that. He said a couple $100,000 he spent, which I believe. But I'm not paying you that. That's what the homes are going for. That's what the new construction is going for. So I try my best to like frame it that way. But I also try my very best on these phone calls to not like. I think there's a fine line between educating the seller and telling them what their house is worth, right? Or educating the seller and insulting them for their intelligence of what they think their house is worth. You know what I mean? It's a very fine line, and you got to dance that line very carefully. So I have by no means perfected the tightrope walk on that line, but that's something else that I'm really wanting to work on and try my best to work on is walking that line and figuring out the way that I can educate the seller on, hey, properties are going for this new construction. It's going to cost this much to build the place, and I need to make profit. There's no way I can buy this place for anything over than what I offered. I offered him 35 to 45. I had a little bit of room to move, but I probably wasn't going to go any higher than 50, 55 max. So I need to let him. This is probably going to be a guy that I'm going to follow up with for another 20 years. You know what I mean? Or however long it takes for him to realize why the hell have I been paying the taxes on this if at the end of the day I was just going to sell it anyways. That's what my mind frame is like. Why, if you don't have the intention on building a house here, why are you paying the taxes on this? Why are you just holding this? And that's why I just had the thought it's probably for sentimental purposes. So connected with seller. And you heard the way that I rebuttal to people asking me what company I work for. I didn't even tell him my name, my company name. He was cool with my explanation, which is the explanation that I give everybody. Oh, it's just my partner and myself. Just a little mom and pop shop. By no means are we, this big corporate company. And I feel the need to again over explain myself, but he was kind of cutting me off. Oh yeah, yeah, I get it, I get it, I get it. I've been saying that. We've been, doing 1 to 2 projects a month. It's kind of a lie, not really though, because I have done 2 deals in the past 2 months. So I have done 1 project a month. Um, and my buyers the buyer that I assigned the last deal to, he does probably double digit flips per month. So I'm confident when I say that. And that's really what it comes down to is how confident are you in your delivery of your explanation. And he was okay. He was okay with it. And again, I didn't even tell him my company name. That's what you want to avoid. You want to avoid one, giving out your real name first, or specifically your last name. Stop, buddy. No, no. And then you never want to give out your company name. That's for damn sure, especially if it's a legitimate company that's filed, registered. If you get on the cold call with somebody and they ask for your company name, first question, you don't give it to them. Please, they will sue your ass. Not that I've experienced it, but I don't want anybody to take some type of misinformation from my channel and go run and start blasting out their company name to every seller who asks for it, because there's a time and place to withhold your information. And I would probably err on the side of withholding it over providing it. Again, example right here. Case in point. He asked, I didn't tell him. I told him without giving him a name. He asked, "Who are you with again?" I say, "Oh, it's just me and my partner. We got some cash on hand. We do a couple projects every month, just looking to keep busy. By no means are we some corporate, company." And then if they oppose to that, then you can tell them, if that's what you're looking for, corporate vibes, where they're kind of just very transactional, by all means, please. But if you are looking for a little bit more of an intimate experience where you have somebody to reach out to, like myself, and I'm here to hold your hand through the process, then I'm here for you. And you kind of want to frame it in a way. This is something that I got from my old job when I was pitching settlements for insurance. You want to pitch the more favorable option in your head last. So you want to frame it like, you can do this, or you could do this. You know what I mean? And that's something that I learned in my old company, because that we always had 2 options for settlement. It was either a lump sum payment, which is what we wanted, because we wanted to cut off all insurance liability, or they had the option to get paid out, kind of like the lottery. If anybody's familiar with the California lottery, like when you win, you have the option for 2 payout methods. You can either get paid out a huge lump sum. It's gonna be less than what you actually won, or you can get paid the full amount, but we're going to pay you out over the course of 30 years. And that's exactly the 2 options that they had at my old insurance company. So we would propose it like, well, we can do this. We would cut you a check every 2 weeks. The check would only be like $200. Um, but and we would pay that until the money gets paid out. So I mean, you could do that if you wanted, or what we could do is I could pay you all right now, but you would have to take a little bit of a haircut on the price. I'm not going to pay you all of that up front, one lump sum payment. But if that's what you want, here it is. So that's kind of how I want to start framing that with like the corporate versus mom and pop shop. A lot of sellers like the small mom and pop type situations. Exactly, CWL. Sellers sometimes get spooked with that big company vibe. Exactly, and I think it really comes down to the seller. That's why I want to be able to at least open up the option. And in the realm of everything that we've been talking about kind of using the pullback method, you can't be afraid to say that to people either. You can't be afraid to lose the deal because that's going to come across as desperation. If somebody asks like, "Wait, like, what's your company name again?" and you're like, "Well, I mean, we're just a small mom and pop shop, but like, we'll be able to pay just as much as the corporate. Like, the corporate, like," and then starts bad mouthing them and stuff. Like, you don't want to do that. You want to tell them, "Hey, look, if that's what you want to do, go ahead." But if what you're looking for is benefit, benefit, benefit that I have, then I'm here for you. You know. And then who's gonna say, "Oh, I want to go to corporate," after an explanation is delivered like that? Who's gonna say, "You know what? I don't want uh, somebody to hold my hand through the process. I don't want somebody who's going to be there to answer my questions when I have them. I, I want just the strict transactional." But okay, again, there are sellers like that. That's exact. I lost a deal like that very recently. The seller sold to Open Door because that's what it was. One, there wasn't a huge amount of repairs that were needed to the property in the first place, so she didn't really need that like education or that like she didn't have to get brought back down to earth. Her property was already in pretty good shape. She could have easily listed it on market, which I had asked, "Why don't you just do that?" And she said, "I just don't want to deal with the realtors, the showings. It's an absentee owned house. I don't want to have to keep going back and forth with the house. But at the same time, I don't want to just give it away to some cash investor." So she went with Open Door. Open Door was going to pay her retail for the property, although it wasn't really retail value. Um, and she got top dollar for her property. And it was probably a transactional experience where it wasn't very intimate with Open Door, but that was cool with her. She just wanted the most for her property. So, like you're saying, CWL type, a lot of sellers prefer the mom and pop. Uh, I think specifically when there is distress, when there is motivation, when there is a problem that needs to be solved. That seller that I was talking about that I lost the deal to, there was no problem. She just wanted to sell and she wanted the most for it. The, it wasn't a problem to her that she would have had to, go back and forth to the property if she listed it on market. That wasn't a problem that needed solving. That was just something that she wanted to avoid. I don't want to have to deal with that. That doesn't mean that I'm going to sell my property dirt cheap, right? So when there's a problem that has to be solved and that can only be solved by an investor, that's when they're going to prefer the mom and pop type vibes. See if there's anybody else I can call. Oh, I want to leave my notes here. Connected with seller. Continues to pay taxes on lot. Learned that there are actually no liens against the property. Neighbor has expressed buying the property in the past. Uh, Seller is not motivated. Said he would pay taxes on it for another 20 years if it meant getting more money once he sold, which is the dumbest fucking idea. 20 years if it meant getting more once he sold. Derek received permission to follow up in early spring to revisit the convo and find out if the neighbor had moved forward. I'll leave myself note. Derek had offered 30, I think I said 30 to 45. 30, 30, I don't remember what I said. I'll say 30 to 40 because he's not going to remember what I said either. So I'll leave it at that. I wanted to make another note on this guy, but I can't remember what it was. Oh, I was gonna say I had talked about this the other day with JLep, I think, or somebody had asked, "How do you know when the seller is ready to hear the offer?" And in that case, I don't think that he was ready to hear it because he wasn't ready to move. Typically, I am trying my best to withhold my offer until they're ready to sign the dotted line, and you do that by getting pre-commitments. If I was able to pay 35, is that something you'd be willing to move forward on and put in writing today? Yeah, I would if you could get 35. Okay, let me place you on a brief hold, get confirmation that I am actually able to make you that offer, right? And that's that kind of pre-commitment, or like, you know, if I was able to, let's say they give you their asking price, 75,000, my max is 80,000, so I already know it's a deal, right? But if I was able to, come somewhere in that ballpark of 75,000, is that something that you'd be willing to move forward on today? You want to make sure that you're not just throwing them out a number and that they're like kicking you to the wayside. You want to know, if I'm going to make you this offer, I'm serious. I'm serious about buying your place. So if I want to make you this offer, I want to know that you're ready to move forward. And you don't have to be so direct and rude about it. I don't even think that's rude, to be quite honest. But you don't have to be as direct about it. So he said fall back up early spring. If you ever see me peeking out the window here, it's because that's where we park, and my girlfriend's out, and I just want to make sure that if she's gonna walk in, I'm not hopping on a phone call. He said early spring. I'll follow up with him, and he said nothing's gonna happen over the holiday season. I'll follow up with him in like February, like mid-February, because nothing's gonna happen. He's not gonna sell it to his neighbor. I would bet big money on that. They never buy the property. The neighbors never, ever, ever, ever. Especially when the guy's talking hundreds of thousands. They're gonna pay the most. Based off what I've learned, is neighbors are probably gonna pay the most, but they're not gonna give you what you want. Especially if it's hundred thousands. Not interested at this time. Vacant lot. Um, this is another guy. I'm gonna delete this guy. That's not a it's not a lead that I need to be following up with. This guy, we were very close. I don't know why we didn't even get this under contract. Last left off, AJ really wanted 175,000, but I think he would consider somewhere in the 110 to 130s if he could be sold. Very cautious, analytical seller. 5 bed, 2.5 bath, vacant, roof replaced 12 years ago. Other than that, no updates. Um, we were so close. He was like, this guy was just playing around, wasted our time, sent a property specialist out to the property, wasted our fucking time. I'm gonna call him before I rerun comps on this, but this one's old enough. This was last time I talked to him was in April. Um, Enough time has passed where it's probably seen some appreciation, even though it's just in its as is condition. If nobody else has bought it, let's see. Oh nope, somebody bought it. Woo! So he made the renovations. Well, this is an interesting experience that I get to share with you guys. So now it sounds like somebody's out there barking at their dog, but I'm gonna read you the MLS. So this one got bought 3 months ago. Oh no, it failed. It failed. It got listed and it failed. So he's tripping on the price probably. Let's see what he was asking. If it's anything over 200,000, he is tripping. Let's see what it listed. Oh no, it was listed at 2,000 for rent probably. Why was it listed at 2,000? It says more pictures coming soon as renovation gets near completion. Newly renovated house for rent. This house is a very nice 5 bedroom, 2.5 bath property, but it got sold, so that's why I'm tripping. I don't see that. It says 3 months the ownership. Let me see if he's still. No, okay, he sold it. Um, House for rent. Come. Thank you. Ooh, he was ready. Got a package delivered. But yeah, this guy sold it. I think huge bedroom. It's in the final stage of the renovation and should be ready by July 23rd. So he must have sold it right afterwards, which is the house is being remodeled and renovated, complete with new appliances. All right, so I lost that one. Should have stayed in touch. Damn, that pisses me off. I'm gonna leave a note. Saw on prop stream that AJ sold and the new buyers had done renovations and listed for rent. That pisses me off. You know, gosh, I'm going to preface this because I by no means am racist. I mean, hopefully that's obvious. I'm biracial and in an interracial relationship. So I I see that he sold to somebody Indian. He was very Indian, not very Indian, but what I'm trying to say is it was clear that his motivations and the way that he operated in a business setting was cultural. This is a conversation that me and my old partner had. That he's very analytical, very to the T. Wanted to know a lot of stuff before he made a decision, and he was big on negotiation. And I know from experience that that is a big part of the Indian culture. Uh, in my old job. This is where I learned it for the first time at my old job. I worked for insurance. It was an insurance company that was a branch of Berkshire Hathaway, if you're familiar with it. So it was Warren Buffett backed. And every 4 years, we would have this lawyer come in, this Indian guy, and he was like Warren Buffett's right hand man. And he would step into all of the litigation cases where it was like big settlements were there. So he would come every 4 years and give us a seminar on negotiation. It was like a 6 hour long seminar, but he was a great negotiator. He kept me engaged. He was the one who put me on the book, Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. It's right here on my desk, but I have stuff on top I was going to show you, but Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. He put me on game on this one. And he would tell stories about his childhood and how when he first, him and his father were going through the marketplaces in India or what have you, and how he first got exposed to negotiation through his father like that. And he spoke specifically on the fact that it's just part of the culture. So by no means am I racist, but it doesn't come as a coincidence to me that this guy ended up selling to somebody of Indian descent. Uh, I don't know. It really doesn't make any difference one way or another, but I find that interesting. Go ahead and delete this. Follow up. Dang, that pisses me off. He must have sold it. If they listed it for rent in July, I last spoke with him in April, and they were saying in the MLS listing that the renovation was damn near done. Let's just say on the fast end, they did all those renovations because it needed to be fully rehabbed in a month, and that would be quick. He must have sold it no more than 2 months after I last spoke with him. That really pisses me off. If there anything make you get on the phones more, it's that. Losing deals like that. I lost one deal. I thought I was being cute. It was before I even got my first deal. He wanted 90, and I was trying to milk it and offer him 88, and I lost the deal to somebody who just paid him 90. Stupid. But it was a big learning lesson for myself. Give this guy a call. Not interested. Last spoke with him in February. I don't know if I spoke with him or my partner did. This guy has 3 properties. Typically, I don't like to market to people like that. He has 3 properties that are all occupied, so probably not motivated. Jose, did he talk with his? Jose is not interested now. Wants me to check in every couple of months. That was in April. I called him 4 days ago. Owns with brother. Wants to talk with him tomorrow about their interest in selling. So I'll give him a call right now. See if they have, in fact, talked it over. All right, no opportunity to leave a voicemail there, although I was going to. Probably gonna call it right there. I have some more people that I can follow up with, but nothing too crazy. What I really wanted to do was follow up with the people who I tried calling. I'm gonna call that guy from my direct line. That'll be the last call I make. I'm gonna call him from my cell phone because he ignored the calls that I sent him from my caller IDs through the texting platform. I think he was ignoring me. Last time we spoke, which was 2 days ago, I was at 85,000. He was at 90,000. He wanted to talk with his wife. I told him if I hadn't heard back by Friday, I would give him a call. I called him twice off the same number that I called him on Wednesday. He didn't answer. In fact, I think he actually ended the call. So I'm going to give him a call from my cell phone. It's because I don't want him to. I don't want him to. I don't want to lose that heat of that lead because we're so close. Where am I? Or what do you think? Is that silly of me to call him off another number already so quickly? Yeah, I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it alone. Uh, Plus, he was telling me that he was really not wanting to do anything until he got back from his vacation in like 2 to 3 weeks. So I don't want to turn him off, which is exactly what I was going on rants about all day today. I know that there's benefit in like pressing the issue and calling more often than not, but at the same time, I think that there's a time and place for that. Um, in this case, I've only tried him once. Maybe he was just in the middle of something. You know what I mean? I don't want to jump to the conclusion that he's avoiding me and then call him off a different number already. Day 3, I literally just had the first conversation with him on Wednesday. So I'm going to leave it at that. I do have some good follow-ups that I can hit early next week. I'll try to, keep the follow-ups going on Monday after I send off some new texts. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I have a big list of driving for dollar properties that I'm wanting to skip trace and kind of holding off until I go through all of my recycled data that I've imported into my dialer. So I'm going to hold off on getting those new properties in until I really blow through all these older lists that I have. So hopefully you enjoyed that one. Hopped on the phone with a few people, had some good conversations, made one offer. It was not going to get accepted anyways. I just wanted to make it just to make it. Say that I have made like 6 or 7 offers this week. That's really my intention, is just to keep throwing out offers, trying to sit back and pick my pitch, wait for the opportunities to present themselves to make an offer. I don't want to just be throwing out offers just to throw them out because they're not going to ever get accepted. But out of those 7 offers, I think that like 5 of them, maybe even 6 of them, all but the one that I made today, was like really appropriate timing. So really want to stay in contact with those people. Want to make sure that I stay on the top of their head. with that offer that I did make. Other than that, I'm trying to think of anything else that I got going on. I really don't think so. Just this guy. I'm gonna have to take him out in a second. I gotta take him out to play before I leave him at home all night with my girl because he gets feisty. You heard him. He goes crazy. Great dog. Great dog. Just a lot of energy. So I'm gonna go play some tug with him. Be back on Monday. I don't think tomorrow. I'm not gonna be able to hop on tomorrow. I got some stuff going on in my girlfriend's grandmother's 94th birthday party. So we're doing that at night, getting my hair cut earlier in the day. Don't really ever do anything on Sundays but watch football and kind of prepare for the upcoming week, get my lists in order, skip trace things, finish up my driving for dollars, whatever the case may be. So more than likely I'll be back on Monday. Go live Monday through Friday. If that's the type of stuff that you're interested in, go ahead, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you get notified when I do go live. I go live. I try to go live at least once a day. I went live for sure once a day this week. I might have even gone like two times a day on a few of the days this week. So document live cold calls, live texting, live lead follow-ups, provide insight on my driving for dollars, practices, how I'm generating my lists, how I'm building my list, how I skip trace my list, stuff like that. And maybe that's what I'll do tomorrow for JLEP, because what I'm also wanting to do is start pre-recording some videos so that I can release them throughout the week or on the weekends when I don't go live. Those videos honestly perform better than my live sessions anyway. So I want to get in the habit of starting to maybe like pre-record one video a week. The next one that I plan to release is for JLEP in response to JLEP. One of my early subscribers here, he wants to see and get a rundown on the contract, the purchase and sale agreement that I use. I just recently switched to a new purchase and sale agreement, so I will be summarizing and reviewing the old contract that I use, but that contract I'm confident in walking you through because that is the contract that I use to close both of my two deals. So I know that they work. I just don't feel right giving you a rundown on a contract that I've never personally used. Although I have the intention of using it, I've never seen it through. So that's going to be the next one. If you have any recommendations or suggestions on, what you want to see in future pre-recorded videos, go ahead, drop it in the comment section. I see all the comments. I get emailed when any type of comment is left on any of my videos. So go ahead, let me know what you're wanting to see. I'll do my best to put that together for you. And I really want to tailor my content for my early subscribers like JLEP. Again, I want to give back as much as possible and I want to grow together. So let me know, drop it in the comment section if you want to see any type of specific content like JLEP requested about the contracts. I'll be more than happy to pre-record that for you and let you know when that video is going to be released. I think that's all the announcements that I had. Again, like, subscribe, notification bell if that's the type of content that you're interested in. Again, we're covering everything wholesaling real estate, specifically virtually wholesaling real estate, as that is what I'm doing. Currently living in California, sourcing opportunity and closing deals out in Houston, Texas. If you're in the Houston, Texas market, either physically or virtually, connect with me. Drop a comment on my video. Let me know that you're in that market. I'd love to connect. I know CWL type is in California and is also doing the same thing in Houston. So looking forward to making that connection with CWL. That's just that'd be ideal to me. That's like a dream, right? Is to connect with you guys through here on my YouTube live sessions and being able to actually bring that into the real world and close deals together. That'd be awesome. So really looking forward to that. Hoping that is the case moving forward. I don't see why it couldn't be. But appreciate all you guys who tapped in, either watching it live or after the fact once it's been released. Until the next one. Peace.